Hello dear students, in this session we'll see the losses in pre-stress in detail. Okay, in the previous session we have seen the different types of losses and what is the quantification of losses. The same we are going to do here in a detailed manner. So types of losses in pre-stress. There are two types of pre-stressing concrete: pre-tensioning and post-tensioning. In pre-tensioning, the losses are elastic deformation of concrete, relaxation of stress in steel, then shrinkage of concrete and creep of concrete. Okay, so these four losses are there in pre-tension concrete. And in post-tension concrete, there is no loss due to elastic deformation if all the wires are simultaneously tensioned. Okay, and there will be loss of pre-stress if the wires are successively tensioned. Successively means one by one, or one other after another. Okay, then relaxation of steel, stress in steel, then shrinkage of concrete, then creep of concrete, friction and anchorage slip. So these six losses are present here in post tension concrete. Okay, so we'll see the quantification and formulation of these losses in detail. Okay, the loss of pre-stress due to friction. So friction loss is due to two reasons. First one is length effect and another one is curvature effect. So this friction loss due to length effect is uh, shown here. Okay, so consider this beam, and this P0 is initial pre-stress applied here with uh, on both the ends, and this x is the distance from where we are going to consider, or where there is a maximum loss. Okay, so P is equals to P0 into e raised to minus kx. Okay, this is because of length effect. If the jacking is done from both the ends, the maximum loss will be at center of beam, that is at x is equals to L by 2. Okay, half the length. And if the jacking is done from one end, maximum loss is at another end, that is at x is equals to L. Okay, this loss is because of length effect. Okay, then next moving towards the curvature effect, pre-stressing force available at x distance. Okay, px is equals to p0 e raised to minus kx into e raised to minus mu x. So by simplification of this numerical, we get the final value as p0 kx into mu alpha. Then final loss of stress is calculated as PL is equals to P0 kx plus mu alpha. So this is recommended by IS code, and this what are the values of kx alpha mu is there in IS 1343 2012. So where x is the distance from free end where loss of stress is to be found out. Okay, so consider here this x distance. Okay, so at this particular point we are supposed to find out the loss due to pre-stress. Okay, so this is the x distance. Then what is the value of x? It is if jacking is provided at one end, maximum loss is at x is equals to L. Okay, and if jacking is done from both the ends, the maximum loss will be at center, that is x is equals to L by 2. Then coefficient of friction or wobble correction factor, k is equals to 0.0015 to 0.005 per meter. Okay, then mu is coefficient of friction between steel reinforcement and duct surface. So these are some different values of mu. So these are the values of mu depending upon the surface conditions. Okay, so this is because this is loss because of friction. Now we'll consider what is the value of alpha. Alpha is the angle. So by using some gradient, or by using some our geometry, we'll find out that what alpha is. So consider this diagram. P, there is a jacking provided from one end, so from this end the jacking is provided, okay, the anchored end, okay, and this is the P0 is initial pre-stress, P0 is initial pre-stress. So this is not provided actually, this is because there is a jacking provided from this end, some amount of P0 will be here, okay. So this is the angle theta and this is the angle alpha, 2 alpha, okay. So total change of gradient is equals to alpha is equals to 2 theta. Theta is slope at ends. So by using that equation of parabola, we'll find out the value of alpha at various distance of x. At x is equals to 0, theta is equals to 4h upon L, and at x is equals to L, theta is equals to minus 4h upon L. So by using some geometrical concepts or some concepts of geometry, we'll find the value of, we found the this value as alpha is equals to 2 theta is equals to 8h upon L, okay. So this is for jacking provided from one end. And what is the case when jacking is provided from both the ends? So in this case, the jacking is provided from both the ends, and this is the P0 is initial pre-stress and Px is the value of loss of pre-stress at a distance x, okay. So we'll consider here this is a big, by using some common sense, that when jacking is provided from both the end, maximum loss of pre-stress will be at a distance or is at a center, okay, at a distance L by 2, okay. So in this case theta is equals to 4h upon L, okay. Then moving towards the next loss due to anchorage slip, okay. So consider this diagram. This is the duct, this is the reinforced duct, steel duct, and this is the steel duct, and here we consider this there is a anchorage loss due to anchorage slip, okay. So that is calculated as change in length to the original length into es. Es is the modulus of elasticity of steel, okay. This is very simple. Then moving towards the loss due to elastic shortening. So pretension members loss occurs at this loss occurs in post tension member. If the members are uh, tensioned simultaneously, then there is a no loss of pre-stress due to elastic shortening. But if the members are successively tensioned, there will be a loss due to elastic shortening. So, and this loss is present in both the type of pre-stress concrete, that is pre-tension and post-tension also. So there are some different cases we will see here when reinforcement is provided without any eccentricity. So in this case the eccentricity is provided at the center of the span, and this is without any eccentricity. So we know how there is a reduction of length. Elastic shortening means after we cut the tendons from the ends, after applying pre-stress, there will be some amount of reduction in length of tendons, okay. So that will calculate here, and that delta L is equals to PL upon A. We know this concept, that is change in length, okay. Then by using this delta L is equals to PL upon AC into EC. AC is area of cross section of concrete section, and EC is modulus of elasticity of concrete only. The same reduction of length will be in steel also. So that a reduction of length in steel is calculated as delta L is equals to PL upon AC into EC. So by calculating this, um, delta L is equals to ES, PL upon E, PL upon E, ES, that we'll find out here. P upon AC is FC, that is stress. Stress at the level of steel or at the location of steel, and ES upon EC is the modular ratio, okay, M. So loss due to elastic shortening of steel is calculated as M into FC. FC is the stress in steel, okay, stress in concrete at the level of steel. At the level of steel means at the location of steel. So in this first case there is not any eccentricity, the tendons are placed at the center of the beam depth, okay. So here we will consider the tendons are provided at some eccentricity E. Okay, so this is particular eccentricity E. In this case the loss due to elastic shortening of concrete is M into FC. So we'll find out some loss at the level of steel, okay. This FC value will find out here in a different way, or at the level of steel or at the location of steel. So we know that bending and stress distribution diagram. So by using that concept, the beam is loaded with a UDL. So there will some amount of movement due to externally applied load, and there is some movement because of this eccentric force P. Okay. So by using this concept, we'll find out FC1 is equals to P by A into PE upon I into Y. So E is equals to Y here in this case. Then this is FC1. Okay, FC1 means the stress at the ends. Okay, so see in this diagram, this is FC1 at the both ends, and this is FC2 at the center of span, when that eccentricity E will be there. Then from FC1 and FC2 we'll find out the average stress FC. Okay, so this is for pre-tension member. Now moving towards the post-tension member, here we'll consider the tendons are tension simultaneously. Okay, then tendons are tension successively. If the simultaneously tension, there will be the no loss due to elastic shortening. So if the and there is a first case and second case, if there is only one reinforcement, all the reinforcement all the reinforcement are tension at a time, there will be the zero loss. And in second case, due to subsequent tensioning, so consider this diagram, there are total 4 wires are to be tensioned. Okay, P1, P2, P3, P4 is the pre-stressing force we are supposed to apply, and this is the delta L4, delta L3, delta L2 and delta L1 is the shortening or change in length of this particular tendons. Okay, so we consider reinforcement tension in wire number 4. No reinforcement is stressed after wire number 4. Therefore at wire number 4 there will be zero loss of stress. Okay, and for wire number 3 here, okay, wire number 3, P3 and wire number 3, it is tension after wire number 4. So that's why there will be some loss of stress at wire number 3. So that loss is FC into M. Okay, in wire number 2, and this wire number 2 will be tension after wire number 4 and 3. Okay, so we'll add up that some particular delta value here, and we'll get the loss of stress in wire number 2 as P3 plus P4 upon AC, and here in wire number 1 we'll get into ES, okay, into M. So in wire number 4 we'll get P4 plus P3 plus P2. We'll add up the all the pre-tension post tensioning values P divided by AC into ES into M. M is modular ratio, and ES is the modulus of elasticity of steel. Then fourth type of loss is loss due to creep of concrete. So creep is the successive deflection because of continuous loading. Okay, so consider this red part, this is the there will be loss due to creep. Okay, and creep due to strain in steel, and creep loss of creep due to elastic shortening will be there. So consider this loss due to creep of concrete, creep strain into ES. Okay, what is the creep strain and what is ES? Okay, creep strain is equals to creep coefficient is equals to creep strain upon creep elastic strain. So creep strain is equals to phi into elastic strain. So loss due to creep of concrete is phi. Elastic strain we know, or elastic strain means our normal strain, delta L upon L into ES. So we know what is the value of delta L, PL upon AE from that particular formula, P upon AC into EC into ES. So we know what is P by A is AC is FC, and ES upon EC we know M, modular ratio. So loss due to creep of concrete is phi M FC. Just remember this. And what is the value of phi? In our exam they will give us the value of phi, or otherwise we can use the IS 1343 in our final exam. So in that 1343 there is one clause. Okay, clause number 19.5 2.1. Okay, so this table is there present there in our IS code also. So by using this particular IS code we can find out the value of phi for various age of loading, 7 days, 28 days, 1 year, like that. Then moving towards the next loss due to creep of steel. Here we have seen loss of creep of concrete. Okay, there is some loss of due to creep in steel only. Okay, relaxation of steel we can say. That clause is there 19.5.2.3. Okay, so we'll consider here some percentage of initial pre-stress. So we will consider here as a 1% to 5% of P0. Okay, P0 is initial pre-stress. Then moving towards the last type of loss due to shrinkage of concrete. Okay, ES is the strain in steel is equals to shrinkage strain into ES. So again this loss is present in pre-tension member and post-tension member. So loss in pre-tension member is calculated as 3 into 10 raised to minus 4 into ES. It's very simple. And in post-tension member this formula is there. Okay, 2 into 10 raised to minus 4 divided by log to the base 10 T plus 2 into ES. What is T? T is the age of loading in days. This is given, and if it is not given, we can use the IS code, and from IS code we can find out the value of this T. Okay, so these are the losses of pre-stress. We have seen here the quantification of losses and how those formulas have came from. Okay, thank you.